Welcome, everyone, to a Pac-12 offseason chat. I'm Andy Katz, pleased to be joined by new Cal head coach Mark Madsen. This is interesting, Mark, because you are one of the few, although your former coach has done this. You know, the Cal-Stanford thing. Mike Montgomery did this. In fact, he had all three Bay Area jobs. It was pretty incredible that Monty was able to pull that off without, I think, moving. But here you are, the new head coach at Cal. There's great energy, passion, enthusiasm for your rival. How'd this happen?
Yeah, no, it's first of all, it's incredibly exciting to be here. And, you know, I grew up 20 minutes kind of to the east of here in Danville. And so when I was invited to interview, I will say this, Andy, with every passing interview, my excitement for the job here at Cal, my enthusiasm for pursuing this job at Cal, it only grew and grew, because, you know, I truly believe that with the history that Cal has, the great players that have been through this program, the great coaches that have been through this program, that the winning that this program has had, I truly believe that greatness can be expected here at Cal. And I could not be more excited to be here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point. I mean, both of us are old enough to know and have seen when Cal was really good. This is a program that has great history. I mean, way back into the 20th century. So it's there. It just needs to be sort of restarted. And you've already done that in the portal. But when you decided to take this job when it was offered, what did you see as sort of the most pressing concerns as you get this program back to where it should be and belongs in the Pac-12?
Well, I think a few things. I mean, number one, it was a tough season last year for Cal in terms of wins and losses. And so as you go out and you talk to recruits, as you talk to players in the portal, as you talk to high school kids, you have to share with them the vision that we have for this program, the style of play, how things can change, where things can go. And number one, it's about conviction. But number two, it's about the building blocks, and it's about really putting something special together here. And so I think one of the biggest things that I saw that, you know, as a parent when I took over the program was that there were a number of players in the portal, current Cal players, some of which had graduated already. And so it was having a number of conversations with kind of those players in the portal to figure out what their goals were, what they were looking for, and then also going out and attacking recruiting to fill some of those spots that were going to be created. And so really the first 3 or 4 weeks, we hit the ground running with recruiting, obviously getting out to events to watch the high school kids, and then official visits, bringing players onto campus and signing players.
Look, I think this is a great time to come into the league. There's a lot of change coming. We know that, but there's opportunity. There's no guarantees. There's no teams that are, you know, absolutely set at the top in the foreseeable future. And so there is sort of, you know, open landscape to tackle here for you and this program. But obviously in the short term, you had to make sure you got guys who could play right away and contribute. You did really well in the program, getting players who contributed in the Big 12, the American, and one of your former players who was hurt last year, and Fardaws Aimaq, who is a ultimate stat stuffer, who really could blossom again playing for you. I'm just curious, you know, especially with him, your anticipation of what you are hoping to get from him in coaching him again at a higher level.
But Fardaws Aimaq, first of all, he was injured a lot of the season last year at Texas Tech. He was battling injury, you know, and, you know, I followed from afar, but then when he went into the portal, we were able to catch up about a lot of things, but he battled injuries, you know, he battled some different things. And even with that, he was able to be a strong performer in an unbelievable conference. And so the thing that stands out to me about Fardaws Aimaq is his professionalism. Fardaws is one of the most professional players I've been around. You know, he cares about his diet. He cares about his conditioning. He puts the work in before and after practice. When we had him at Utah Valley, you know, he got into such elite shape. We played a home game against BYU that went into overtime. Fardaws Aimaq played 44 out of 45 minutes at a high level. That's incredibly hard to do, especially when you're the focal point of the other team's defense, especially when, you know, we run an up-tempo type of system. And so little things like that really stand out to me about Fardaws. I'm excited about every single player that we've added in the transfer portal. I'm excited about the 2 incoming freshmen that we have, and we have more work to do still. We're still recruiting. We have some unofficial visits today, in fact, on campus. And so just really excited. There's so much energy here at Cal, and you know, a lot of great things are going to happen. Andy, I believe we are going to compete for a Pac-12 championship in year 1. I believe that there's no reason why we cannot knock off some of the big teams in this conference. And that's not to say every game won't be a battle. That's not to say we won't take some lumps throughout the process, but we can absolutely compete with the best teams in this country.
Well, I love the boldness. I would love to see it. One thing though, Mark, that, you know, you've been able to handle so far in your coaching career that a lot of former players haven't, and that is you had an unbelievable work ethic. You earned everything. You were a championship level player in college and in the NBA. And a lot of times players like that, it doesn't translate when they're coaching because they expect these players to do what they did. And not everyone is wired like that. So how have you handled as a coach dealing with younger players who aren't like you, but you want them to play at least sort of somewhat like you did in terms of especially the effort?
Well, I mean, every player is different. Some players have huge and amazing talent, you know, and maybe they don't put the work in off the court as much. Some players put in an incredible amount of work off the court after practice, but maybe the talent's not there. And so what I try to talk to young players about is hey, you have some great examples out there. Kobe Bryant was one of those guys that combined unbelievable talent with a work ethic that nobody else could really match. The first time I met Kobe, Andy, I'm at the Lakers practice facility in El Segundo. You know, it's 9:30 a.m. It's August, and I'm one of the first guys in the gym. Kobe typically trained down in Orange County a lot, you know, just in his offseason. So Kobe walked into the training room, and I introduced myself, and I said, hey, let's go out there and get some shots. I'll rebound for you. It'd be great. You know, and he said, big fella, I already made 2,000 shots this morning at 5:30 a.m. And, you know, I'm just telling you, that's what he told me in the moment. But then every day I was with him over the next 3 years, he proved that work ethic. He did what he said. One thing I like to talk about is, hey, as a player, the video should match the audio. If you say you want to be an NBA player, you know, if you say you want to do these things, your actions need to reflect it. And Kobe was that way.
Unbelievable. You got great examples, yourself and obviously everyone else that you played with. Really looking forward to keeping this going, this conversation. And I know you're going to get Cal where it needs and wants to be here in the future, in the short term, obviously as well. Congratulations on this gig. It's great to have you in the Pac-12, back in the Pac-12. Thanks for taking your time, Mark.
Andy, thanks for having me. Good to reconnect. We'll talk soon.